CBS Detroit, the Oxford High School shooter was sentenced on Friday to life in prison without parole. More than 2 years after 4 people were killed and 7 others were injured. Ethan Crumbley, who was 15 at the time of the incident on November 30, 2021, appeared for his sentencing hearing nearly 3 months after Judge Quamro announced that he could be eligible for life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. In October 2022, he pleaded guilty to multiple charges in connection with the tragic incident that took the lives of students Justin Schilling, Madison Baldwin, Tate Myre, and Hannah St. Juliana. He was charged with 24 counts, including terrorism causing death, 4 counts of first-degree premeditated murder, 7 counts of assault with intent to murder, and 12 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Before his sentencing, the shooter addressed the court, placing the blame solely on himself. This is the first time he has publicly spoken since the incident. "We are all here because of me," he said. "I am the one who led to why we're all here today. I do not diminish any ability to anyone who could have stopped me, of anyone at the school or parents. They did not know, and I did not tell them what I planned to do. So they're not at fault for what I've done. I'm a really bad person." Families and victims arrived at the courtroom just before 9 a.m. Madison's mom, Nicole Beausoleil, was the first victim to speak. She spoke about Madison's intelligence, her contagious smile, and how she gave Beausoleil the courage to be strong. Beausoleil also addressed the teen, without saying his name, and said, "I don't wish death upon you. That would be too easy. I hope the thoughts consume you, and they replay over and over in your head." Buck Meyer, Tate's father, spoke next, saying he and his wife are working on figuring out how to save their marriage and their family following the death of his son. "I will tell you this," said Meyer. "We are miserable. We miss Tate. Our family has a permanent hole in it that can never be fixed. Ever." Tate's brother Trent spoke next, and when referring to the shooter, he said, "He took the selfish action of taking 4 lives away. He took for kids opportunities to grow into incredible young men and women, and he should never have the opportunity to see the light." Craig Schilling, Justin's dad, said the act of taking another human being's life is not only exasperating, but extremely selfish and unjust. "I believe that once an individual crosses the boundaries of basic humanism and admittedly maliciously kills another person, that individual should meet the same fate." Justin's mother, Phil Sove, spoke about her grieving process, her trauma and rage, and told the judge, "Please sentence the shooter to life without the possibility of parole." Hannah St. Juliana's sister, Rena, and then her father Steve spoke next. "He purposely murdered my daughter Hannah and 3 other children in order to make himself feel better," said Steve. "I want to make my position regarding the defendant's sentencing and his future very clear. There can be no forgiveness. There is absolutely nothing that the defendant can do to earn my forgiveness." Several other victims followed and made their impact statements. Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter released the following statement: "Today marked the end of the indescribable anguish and pain felt by the families and friends of Madison Baldwin, Tate Myre, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling, as well as the extended Oxford community," said Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. "The life sentence delivered by Judge Quamro closes one phase of accountability, and I hope it will allow the memories of those 4 bright lights to shine the way toward further healing, understanding, and commitment to protecting our children." Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard also issued a statement. He applauded Judge Rowe for doing the courageous thing, the appropriate thing on behalf of the victims of these horrible crimes. By his actions on November 30, 2021, and his own statements, this defendant deliberately carried out his cold-hearted, evil, and brutal plan and was excited about killing his fellow students. He said he was prepared to spend the rest of his life in prison. It is appropriate that the system granted his wish. I hope the families of Tate, Hannah, Madison, and Justin, and the other victims of this defendant can now take one more step forward in processing this unthinkable tragedy. I have ordered my team to transfer him as soon as possible to the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections, where he will spend the rest of his life. In addition to the shooter facing criminal charges, his parents are also behind bars. James and Jennifer Crumbly are each facing involuntary manslaughter after they were accused of not getting their son the necessary help, buying him the gun, and not taking him home after school. Officials expressed concern over his drawings days before the shooting. The parents were granted separate trials last month after claiming that it was necessary to avoid prejudice and to promote fairness. Since the shooting, the Oxford Community Schools District and its staff have been hit with lawsuits and community members demanding accountability. A firm hired to conduct a third-party investigation into the events leading up to the shooting found that the shooter was not identified as a threat because individuals at Oxford High School failed to recognize on November 30, 2021, that the shooter's conduct, statements, and drawings suggested that he might cause physical harm at the school. The 572-page report from Guidepost Solutions also says all levels of Oxford community schools bear responsibility and failed to provide a safe environment for students.